We have all been there, right? Staring at the ceiling, wondering why on earth your brain just won't shut off. Well, today, we're not talking about counting sheep. We are diving into the hard science behind why you can't sleep, and I'm going to give you a proven, step-by-step protocol to finally take back your night.
It's 3 a.m. Again. You know that feeling. The world is completely silent, but your mind? Oh, your mind is screaming. You're tossing, you're turning, maybe even do that little sneak peek at your phone.
And you can feel it deep in your bones, can't you? The physical exhaustion is just overwhelming. You want to sleep, you desperately need to sleep, but something is just not connecting.
That's the maddening part, isn't it? But what if I told you this isn't some personal failure? It's not your fault. It's actually your brain's chemistry getting hijacked. And the best part? Science knows exactly how to reset it. In this explainer, we're going to show you exactly how to find that switch and flip it.
So, to fix the problem, you first got to understand it. Let's meet the 4 main culprits that are working against your sleep, starting with your body's own master clock.
So, think of your circadian rhythm as the conductor of your body's orchestra. Deep inside your brain, there's this tiny little region called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Let's just call it the SCN. Its main job is to tell your body when to release the sleep hormone, melatonin, as soon as it gets dark. But one very modern habit is throwing a giant wrench into its plans.
And here it is. Culprit number 1 is the blue light pouring out of our screens. A famous Harvard study found that late-night screen time can crush your natural melatonin production by up to 80%. I mean, 80%. Without that critical melatonin signal, your brain literally never gets the memo that it's bedtime.
Okay, on to culprit number 2. This is all about something called sleep pressure. Picture this. All day long, as your brain is working hard, it's producing a chemical called adenosine. The longer you're awake, the more adenosine you get, and that creates this really strong biological urge to fall asleep. It's basically your body's natural sleep timer.
But then we bring in caffeine. Now, what's fascinating here is how caffeine works. It doesn't actually get rid of the adenosine. Nope, it just parks itself in the adenosine receptors, blocking them. So your brain gets tricked into thinking there's no sleep pressure. You know that 5 p.m. coffee you had? Yeah, it can still be blocking those receptors at 1 a.m. Suddenly, your sleeplessness isn't a mystery. It's just biology.
Now let's talk about the stress hormone, cortisol. This is our third culprit. When you're feeling anxious or maybe you're doom scrolling through bad news on your phone, your body pumps out cortisol. Its whole job is to keep you awake and on high alert, which is the absolute opposite of what you want at night. It's a direct enemy of melatonin.
And that brings us to our final culprit, the dopamine loop. See, every time you scroll, you get a tiny little hit of dopamine, that reward chemical. But here's the critical battle happening in your brain. Dopamine and melatonin are like a seesaw. When one is high, the other is low. So when your brain is chasing those little dopamine hits from your phone, it's physically impossible for it to produce the melatonin you need for sleep. That's why just 5 more minutes always turns into an hour.
All right, we've met the enemies. Now let's talk strategy. This is not about just trying harder to sleep. This is a science-backed protocol to systematically wrestle back control of your brain's chemistry.
This right here, this is our roadmap. We're going to walk through these 6 steps one by one. We'll start with resetting that internal clock, then we'll build up natural sleep pressure, get your cortisol under control, and finally break that addictive phone loop. Each step is designed to fight back against one of the culprits we just talked about. It's a full system reset. Okay, step 1 is all about light. To reset your internal clock, you need to get about 10 minutes of direct sunlight first thing in the morning. This sends a really strong start the day signal to your brain. Then, in the evening, you do the opposite. Dim the lights and get off all your screens at least an hour before bed. This lets that melatonin rise naturally. Now for step 2, building sleep pressure. Remember adenosine? We need to let that stuff build up. And that means no caffeine after 2 p.m. Period. It also means avoiding long naps late in the afternoon, because that just clears out the adenosine and wipes out the very sleep pressure you're trying to build. Step 3 is your secret weapon against cortisol. You're going to create a 30 to 45 minute calm down window right before bed. You can try things like 4-7-8 breathing, that's in for 4, hold for 7, and a long exhale for 8, which directly lowers your heart rate. Or try journaling to get all those racing thoughts out of your head and onto paper. And taking a warm shower, well, that has a really fascinating biological effect.
And this is the magic behind it. When you get out of that warm shower, your core body temperature starts to drop as the water evaporates. And that drop is a powerful, primal signal to your brain that says, hey, it's time to initiate sleep. It's such a simple biohack, and it really, really works.
All right, step 4 is huge, breaking that dopamine loop. You have to replace your phone with a new sleep cue. By consistently doing something else, like reading a physical book or doing some gentle stretches in low light, you literally train your brain to associate this new routine with sleepiness. And that brings us to step 5, reset the bedroom. Your brain needs to think of your bed as a place for one thing and one thing only, sleep. So no more working, no more eating, and definitely no more scrolling in bed. Make it a sanctuary. And finally, step 6, the 10-minute rule. If you're in bed and you're not asleep after about 10 or 15 minutes, get up, go to another room, do something relaxing in dim light, and only come back to bed when you feel sleepy again. This is so crucial for breaking that mental link between your bed and the stress of being awake.
Okay, but what if you do everything right and you still find yourself wide awake at 3 a.m.? First off, don't panic. We've got a rescue plan for that, too.
Listen, here is the most important rule of all. Whatever you do, do not check the time. It just spikes your cortisol and starts the anxiety spiral. And absolutely do not pick up your phone. If you've been tossing and turning for more than 15 minutes, get out of bed. Go read something boring under a dim light. The goal is to break the idea that your bed is a stressful place. It's a weird paradox, but accepting that you're awake is often the fastest way to fall back asleep.
Now, for those of you who want to take this even further, let's quickly cover a few advanced, research-backed tips to really optimize your sleep.
Here are a few next-level tools. Magnesium glycinate can support GABA, which is a neurotransmitter that basically acts like the brakes for your brain, calming everything down. Glycine is an amino acid that can also help lower your core body temperature. A simple hack for that? Just stick your feet out of the covers to release heat. And finally, try to eat your last meal 2 to 3 hours before bed. This stops your digestive system from interfering with your sleep hormones.
So, if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. You are not broken. You're not a bad sleeper. Sleep is a biological, biochemical program that has simply been knocked off rhythm by our crazy modern world.
But the moment you start taking control of your light, managing your stress, and building a proper wind-down routine, your brain starts to rewire itself. You now have the user manual. You know how to run the program correctly. But before you go, I really want to hear from you. What's the biggest culprit for you? What keeps you awake at night? Is it stress, overthinking, or is it that darn phone? Let me know in the comments below. Let's start a conversation.
And of course, if this was helpful for you, do me a huge favor and hit that like button, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out as we continue to unlock the science of your brain and your life. Thanks for watching, and seriously, sleep well tonight.